Hey folks, Greg from Greg's Country Cabin Outdoors. Gonna do another video for you. I'm gonna show you how to make a wood gasifier stove. Okay, I've seen a few videos on this on YouTube. One guy showed how to cut the bottom out of a can and do the same thing I'm gonna do with the same two cans. So what we start with is a regular 1 quart paint can. This can be purchased at your hardware store. This particular one came from Home Depot. Comes with the lid. You can use a regular old 1 quart paint can that you have used up the paint in it, and it'll work just as well. Okay, so the video that I saw, guy cut the bottom out of his can and he put in a Progresso soup can. Now, I suggested to him that he might make it a little bit easier if he did it a different way. He strongly suggested that I find another channel to watch, so that's what I did. I unsubscribed from his channel and I decided to go with what I know. Okay, this is a Progresso soup can, just a plain old everyday run-of-the-mill can. It does have a lip inside here that can be extremely sharp. So the first thing you need to do is remove that lip. So I have a safety can opener that locks right on top, and with a few turns this soup can becomes safe to use. Okay, so it's nice clean cut. You don't have to worry about cutting your fingers on it or anything. Okay, the next thing you need to do is to remove the bottom of the paint can, and I do that with a regular can opener. You can use the safety can opener if you want to reuse the bottom to use it for storage. You can put a band around it to hold it in place after you've used it. This will hold the other items that I'm about to show you in place. Personally, I prefer to use this style. So, without showing you all that rigmarole, I already have one cut. And this is what it looks like. Has a hole cut out of it, nice and clean. The top is still intact. So, you take the Progresso soup can, peel the label off of it. Okay, now here's the little trick that makes this so much easier than the way the other guy was doing it. He was trying to cut a hole to fit this Progresso soup can in the bottom of his can. Well, the secret is that the Progresso soup can fits perfectly inside this rim. Okay, let me show you that. Now, that Progresso soup can is in place. How do I know? Pretty simple. Alright? That's the easy part about it. This guy wanted to make it difficult and got rather belligerent with me. So, that's fine. That's his problem, not mine. Okay? So the next step is to take the Progresso soup can, and you're going to want to drill holes in it. So I've got one that's already done. I've even painted it up to make it all pretty. You drill a series of holes around the top. See if you, there you go. You can see those holes. There's 16 of those. There's 3/16 of an inch in diameter. Alright, you drill a series of holes around the bottom. And I don't know if you can see those holes in the bottom or not. I'll see if I can get it to a position where you can see the light shining. Nah, you can't see it. There you go. There's one. There's another one. Anyway, there's 8 of those holes. Okay? So, what I use to make those holes, if I can find it here, is a step drill. I don't see it. It must have fallen off the table. At any rate, it's a 1/2 inch step drill. It drills all the way up to 1/2 inch holes. It'll drill 3/16 hole, 1/4 inch hole, everything up to a 1/2 inch hole. So you drill 16 of the 3/16 holes around the top, and you drill 8 of the 1/2 inch holes around the bottom. Okay? Now, for the paint can, you can see the holes in it. There's 8 of those. They are also 1/2 inch holes. Now, here's the secret to the wood gasifier stove. And there are physicists that tell you there's no such thing as a wood gasifier because this is a 2-stage burner. The fact of the matter is that wood, when it burns, has to go from a solid to a liquid and then to a gas in order to burn. Okay? You don't usually see the liquid state of wood as it burns. So what you see is the gas burning. Now, what happens? Well, it's pretty simple. Wood comes in the bottom holes of this paint can. You've got your wood stuffed inside here. You light a fire on top, and the wood gets its air from the holes in the bottom of the Progresso soup can. Okay? That feeds the fire from the bottom. Now, the air coming through the holes in the bottom of the paint can feed the air coming through the holes in the bottom of the Progresso soup can. You got a lot of wood in there, so you're not going to get all of the air from the bottom. Okay? What happens is this can heats up. And as it heats up, it causes the air between the two cans to heat up. As that air heats up, it has to go somewhere. And that's why you have the holes drilled in the top, to let that air escape from between those two walls. What that does is feed oxygen to the top of the fire that's inside the can. Alright? There are YouTubers out there that will tell you that there is a natural inversion that happens. That's bunk. Okay? Heat rises. It's a fact. It's a physical fact. Heat rises. So, you're sucking air from the bottom of your paint can into the bottom of your Progresso soup can, feeding your fire. As the fire heats up, the inner lining of the wood stove heats up, which heats the air between the paint can and the Progresso soup can, causing it to rise. Naturally, rise. As it does that, it feeds air through the little holes at the top of the Progresso soup can, which gives oxygen to the fire that's already there, which causes a secondary burn. Okay, that's where you get your secondary burn idea. So, what it does is it burns off the gases that are escaping from the wood that haven't ignited. It gives a smokeless fire, and it gives you a nice hot fire. This particular stove, I have one that I have used. It's actually got charcoal in it from the last time I used it. But anyway, it will heat 20 ounces of water to a boil in about 6 minutes. Okay? In order to do that, you have to have a pot stand. I use either hardware cloth, or I have a chicken soup or chunk chicken can, or you can actually use a large tuna can. At any rate, the chunk chicken can, I cut the bottom out of it, rounded it over so there's no sharp edges. This sits perfectly on top of my wood stove. Okay? But that by itself will not work. You have to have air holes for it to get air to continue to breathe. So I have one of those. At this point, I'm ready to put a pot on top of it, or like I said, you can use the hardware cloth. Okay? They both work just fine. This hardware cloth has an opening at the top of it so that I can continue to feed the fire as it heats. I found that 1 can full of wood is enough to bring 20 ounces of water to a full boil and still have fire left over, because I smothered it and I've still got charcoal to start the next fire. Now, why would you want to save the bottom of your paint can? Well, pretty simple actually. If you want to save your wood, put it out, you put your lid on top of it, and it will eventually smother. Make sure this is not sitting on combustible material, because the fire will actually come down to the bottom and burn out these little holes until it goes out completely. But in the meantime, you're making charcoal that you can start your next fire with. The other thing is, with the bottom of the can, you can take your pot stand, doesn't matter which one it is, slide it right inside, put the bottom on it, put a rubber band around it, and you have a wood stove that's ready to take with you anywhere you want to go camping. I wish I could do a burn for you. Unfortunately, I'm indoors because there's a storm going on and I couldn't get out to my cabin. So, you're going to have to go with what I have here. And I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Greg from Greg's Country Cabin Outdoors. If you liked the video, hit that old thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.